Mm, 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 mm. Hello, I'm OT Speaks. If you're new here, please like, subscribe, share. If you're wondering why I shared my YouTube channel, that's because I am also on Rumble and I'm simulcasting on Rumble. So if you're on YouTube, subscribe to my Rumble. If you're on Rumble, subscribe to my YouTube. Um, what I do here is I speak on things from a right leaning perspective, but I am not a Republican. I repeat, I am not a Republican. I have a lot of new subscribers, so I just want them to know this is a political channel. That's all I talk. Um, Political, maybe the black community, maybe some. No, I really don't talk much else. It's all politics because I believe it is the most important thing in our lives, and it touches pretty much every aspect of what we do. So that's what I talk about here. That's what I'm going to be talking about today. Right now, we have what's called political violence happening. And what's going on? Well, actually, let me just read the title to you. It is Once Again, the Left Resorts to Violence and Destruction to Combat Donald Trump's Success. And what happens is he says, I'm going to do this. He does it. The left gets mad, no matter what it is. If he talked about curing cancer, the left would be mad about it and say, well, what about Alzheimer's? Like they'll just find a reason to be mad. And it's really annoying, but that's just where we are. We are in a tribalism based society, and it's what it's going to be. And I don't know when it's going to end. I don't know how we get out of it. And that's kind of what this whole live stream is going to be about. I ended my last live with two psyop videos, and I actually added one actually I added a couple today. But it was just to show how far the war for your mind is going, and it's really interesting to watch because every person that is completely irrational, that does not want to talk politics. What's going on, Just Jay? What's going on, Kiss My Cheeks? Every person that you've ever spoken to that's completely irrational, unable to have a conversation about politics, they have fallen victim to psyops because there's no other reason or no other way to explain why they're behaving the way that they behave. I have somebody who I know whose own niece essentially disowned him just for talking politics, or cousin, maybe cousin, whoever it was. Uh, we all know people like this. Um, it shouldn't be that difficult of a conversation to have, but due to psyops and media manipulation, this is where we are today. And I don't know how we get out of this. I really don't know how we get out of this. And it's both sides. It's Democrats, it's Republicans. It's just tribal warfare. So if you go, I'm from Chicago. You go to a White Sox game. Sorry, I hit the mic. You go to a White Sox game, and if it's a White Sox versus Cubs game, there's going to be sides picked. It's just going to, and it's really ugly, and it could get really, really ugly really fast, especially if it's on the South Side. Um, you People like to pick a side. People like to say, "I'm right, you're wrong," and here's objective proof. There isn't any. What's going on, Ilan? Um, it's just what it is. The name fan comes from the term fanatic. People want to pick side. It is the same with religion. Absolutely, Just Jay. It's just what it is. And I'm not sure there's a way to get out of this. But people pick sides, um, and they're right. Unfortunately, we're in a society now where there's good and there's evil instead of just being my opinion and their opinion and agreeing to disagree. It doesn't happen much anymore, especially not when it comes to politics. So that's where we're at right now. Um, the good versus evil archetype goes back is all the way throughout human history. It's just always been there, and I'm not sure it's gonna go away. I don't know how it can go away. So I'm gonna start the video with those two side videos that I ended with, and then I added one, and I'm just gonna do that for now. I don't want to speak ahead of turn. So this is what we're gonna be looking at.
immediately bring prices down starting on day one?
That ain't true. That's what you just heard. Since day one of Donald Trump's presidency, prices are not down, they're up. Inflation is getting worse, not better. The prices of grocery, gas, housing, eggs, of essentials, it's not getting better, it's getting worse. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has done nothing. Goose eggs to lower prices. Instead, he's pardoned violent criminals who savagely beat police officers.
On January 6th.
He's letting Elon Musk take a chainsaw to vital government programs, and then, even worse, giving him access to Americans' most sensitive data. Social Security numbers, tax returns, health care bills. He's fired thousands of essential workers, people who help our veterans get their benefits, people fighting Ebola in Africa so it doesn't come here. He's frozen funding for vital programs that so many American families need. Cancer research, education funding, payments to family farmers, and so much worse. Why are they doing this? Trump, Musk, Doge are taking these vital services away from you for one reason only, so they can give tax breaks to their billionaires club. Their plan is awful, simply awful. Billionaires win, families lose.
Well,
And
billionaires
that
win.
is the truth.
And that is the truth.
And that is the truth.
So, and this is, you notice they're holding those little TikTok microphones now. They're trying to be cool. Barron Trump introduced Donald Trump to this entire new world that is online marketing and promotion. And he started going on podcasts, and now the left is picking up on it. And now they're trying to act like they're TikTokers and they're cool. But they're all using these little mics and they're talking in sound bites. But if you look at that video, they are robotic in their narratives, and it is pathetic. It can't, like, clearly it's a script. Clearly it's a script. It's really hard to look at that and say that it's not a script. They're saying identical words. They're using the same graphics. That you see the chainsaw graphic. They all used it. These are all different videos. You see the Elon Musk. I think the only one who didn't use it was Schumer. But it's an obvious script. And they're trying to catch up now where they failed, which was online presence, which is one of the big reasons why Trump won. And that's just what they're doing. That's where we are in today's society, where they think they can program you. And if they can't, they're just going to keep trying over and over and over until you start hearing it so much that it's second nature, and then you start repeating it. Well, what about January 6th? Well, now they actually have footage of FBI agents with a so-called Antifa member in handcuffs. They take the handcuffs off of him and they fist bump him. Why did they fist bump him? He's a terrorist. That's what they called him. If January 6th was a terrorist act, an attempt to overthrow the government, why did those Secret Service police or whatever, no, they weren't Secret Service, they would have been Capitol Police, why did they fist bump a terrorist after he was in handcuffs? They let him out of handcuffs and fist bumped him. Why? Have you guys seen that footage? I may have to use that one for my next live, or in my next live. It's really interesting, huh? What's going on, Bolo? What's going on, Mel Dub? We're so used to hearing things that we don't need to see it anymore. We really don't need to see it anymore. So you're gonna tell me that Chuck Schumer, Corey, whatever his face is, I can't remember his name, and why am I blanking on their names? Hold on, let me go back. If I look at them, I know. All right, so you have where is it? Cory Booker. All right, so now you have Chuck Schumer, Cory Booker, and Pocahontas, right? You're telling me they all had the exact same idea to say the exact same things. What's going on, KTC? You're telling me they all had identical ideas to the point where they all gave about a minute speech and it's identical. Same graphics, same everything. And they're all using the same TikTok microphone. Is that possible? Like, come on, what are we doing here? So that was the first one. This is the second one.
Awful.
The Republican
Simply
plan
awful.
is
Billionaires
simple.
win.
So Ilan Milligan, I'm not a fan of the Hodge twins because, in my opinion, no matter what Republicans do, they're going to agree with it. And I'm not. That's not me. That's just not me. They're funny. I used to think they're funny, but they toe the party line, and I can't do that. If something's wrong, something's wrong. I spoke about last week with the prisons. What's going on, G. Will? If Americans get put in that prison in El Salvador, I have a problem with it. That will be a disagreement between me and Trump. And people always assume just because I speak on Trump so much and I'm in agreement that I never disagree. That's just wrong. If they start sending Americans to that prison in El Salvador, I got a problem with it. And I'll be vocal and I will be going live about it. So I can't fall into these groups. I can't do it. And this is happening everywhere. And it's kind of gross to me. I don't like it. But here's the next PSYOP video. Just listen to what they do. And then that's how you understand, okay, if I have an opinion, where did it come from? Did I go get the information and then come to my own conclusion, or was I told that this is what happened?
Families lose. Well, billionaires win.
Is the truth.
And
That is the truth.
And that
It's the truth.
is the truth.
The strength that we have is in this moment.
Listen to your constituents. Center them in this moment.
But I can tell you that there are a lot of people that are watching his leadership in this moment. This is the moment.
I think about what's happening, in this moment.
What's important is that we meet this moment.
So are these current Democrats the ones to meet the moment?
What do you want to see us doing right now in this moment?
And which Democrats are actually going to stand up against Elon Musk and Donald Trump in this moment?
The fight that you all are exhibiting is not just what the base wants, but it's what this moment requires.
So again, creating urgency in this moment. Hey guys, we really need to do this now, in this moment. You can't wait. So they came up with a script. It doesn't have to be identical words like the first one. The first one was almost verbatim. The second one was just showing you guys that they don't have to give word for word. They can give you a feeling. And in this case, the feeling was urgency. That's what they need to convey. How do we do that? Let's use a phrase and pass it around. That's what they do.
Kids who think that they can do their own research.
So this is now the Dems during COVID. We remember the moments. We remember having opinions. Do you remember how you came to your conclusions? Do you remember that? I want to listen to this one because this is even more wild than the first two. It was a pure PSYOP. The government, the CIA, and in this case, probably some kind of worldwide organization decided to come up with a narrative and to punk you, to scare you into submission. But listen to this one is probably the most obvious. And you guys are gonna be like, wow, I don't remember it being this bad. Listen how bad it was just 3-4 years ago.
Do any of your own research.
Doing your own research is associated with conspiracy theory circles. This go it alone approach, doing your own research, that can have serious consequences. You should get prison time for even questioning the vaccines.
Can we all stop saying, I need to do my own research?
That phrase, do your own research, is 4 words. 4 little words that are hurting America. Doing your own research hurts America! Everybody has a supercomputer in their hand that empowers them to do their own research, and that's the problem. You must not do your own research.
I need to do my own research.
I don't understand what that means. I'm doing my own research.
You can't do your own research unless you're a scientist. Do your own research.
Maybe you've told yourself you're playing it safe. You just want to wait and see since this is a new vaccine. No.
Roll the up and get the vaccine.
Unvaccinated people spread the virus.
It's a vaccine, you dope.
Don't be a get yourself vaccinated. That's just all there is to it. There's no excuse. No excuse for being unvaccinated.
There's no rational and no emotional argument that adds up against getting your damn shot. There just isn't.
We want to make sure that people can discern the truth from the misinformation. And we want to make sure that everyone understands that no one's safe till everyone's safe.
No one is safe.
No one is safe.
No one is safe. No one is safe.
No one is safe.
Nobody's safe.
No one is safe.
Nobody is safe.
This is a post 9/11 axiom. Safer, but not yet safe.
No one is safe. No one is safe. No one is safe. No one is safe.
All right, so if you look at it, that's wild. That's wild. And so the narrative is your research is doing your own research is bad. Trust the science. Exactly, Mel Dub. They wanted you to trust the science. And they were ignoring science, of course, but they wanted you to trust them. It really wasn't about science. To the point where they just kept repeating it and repeating it and repeating it until people were just saying it. See, me personally, I listened to the president, who was Trump at the time. And I said, oh, when they started that whole 2 weeks, I forgot how they said it, 2 weeks to calm the spread or something. I don't even remember exactly how they phrased it. I was like, okay, Trump knows more than me on this topic. I'm going to trust what he says. This is the person I voted in to make these decisions, right? Well, 2 weeks goes by and they start pushing it again, and Fauci started pushing it again, and Trump started pushing back like, we can't stay closed forever. Like, what are we doing here? And I was with him. I was like, okay, well, he said 2 weeks to stop the spread or whatever it was. And now he's saying, hey, I think we should start opening up businesses. And he started getting into conflicts with science. And he started becoming anti-science. Well, this is the same guy who shut the world down. He shut our country down, which essentially shuts the world down. And he started saying, I think we need to start opening. We can't stay closed forever. So he started speaking out against Fauci. Now, then that's when we all learned that you can't just fire somebody, because he started threatening to fire Fauci after a while. And that's where we learned, well, you can fire him, but you got to give him notice. And then you have to give Congress a reason why you're firing him. All these weird things started coming out. And that's when it became obvious, oh, he's being set up. Trump's being set up. So I followed the president at that time because that's what I put him there for. And it turned out long term to be a disaster, right? And then even when he got out, then they started mandating what's going on. True, and we all know what's happened since. That's where I was, but the whole time they're saying trust the science, believe me, don't do your own research. Anytime somebody tells you not to research, don't trust them. Don't trust them. And I'm going to do a live Kiss My Cheeks about Fauci, because something's going on right now where he may still be susceptible to prosecution, because those pardons may have an issue. They may have an issue. Maybe not, but it's not. It looks very interesting, and it will be litigated. But anyway, I don't want to go get off into that. So this guy here, I don't know how many of you guys are old enough to know what Monty Python was. But Monty Python was a comedy series of movies and TV shows. And his name is John Cleese. This video came out, I think they said 30 years ago. This came in. Yes, G will. But it's not just that. So we'll go over that. I'll go over that in my next live. So about 30 years ago, he came up with this video on how to push narratives and how to separate and divide people and how to divide the nation in a sense. And look at how accurate he was, because this is what he's talking about. And you're going to be like, oh, wow, this is exactly what they're doing today. And they've been doing this for 15, 20 years now, because the political divide did not used to be this bad. It was nowhere, nothing like this. It wasn't until Trump hit the scene that it really got bad. It was pretty bad under Bush. But he was still a centrist and they knew it. So it was all show. Now they hate the man. Like, they've literally tried to take Trump out 3 times now that we know of. So listen to John Cleese, because this is fascinating stuff. Yeah, I just want you to see this, and then we'll move forward.
We've heard a lot about extremism recently, a nastier, harsher atmosphere everywhere, more abuse and bother boy behavior, less friendliness and tolerance and respect for opponents. All right, but what we never hear about extremism is its advantages. Well, the biggest advantage of extremism is that it makes you feel good, because it provides you with enemies. Let me explain. The great thing about having enemies is that you can pretend that all the badness in the whole world is in your enemies and all the goodness in the whole world is in you. Attractive, isn't it? So, if you have a lot of anger and resentment in you anyway, and you therefore enjoy abusing people, then you can pretend that you're only doing it because these enemies of yours are such very bad persons.
The first person that I thought of when he said that was Alec Baldwin. Just a nasty, nasty human being. And when he would do his skits, He's a very talented guy, very talented actor. But when he would do his skits, there was anger there, which made it less funny because it's like, oh, he's serious. This dude's not. This isn't parody. Like he's really upset. And this is where you start seeing, especially in Hollywood and with the elitists, what's going on. This video makes it really clear in my eyes. Sorry, I stopped it.
And that if it wasn't for them, you'd actually be good-natured and courteous and rational all the time. So, if you want to feel good, become an extremist. Okay, now you have a choice. If you join the hard left, they'll give you their list of authorized enemies. Almost all kinds of authority, especially the police, the city, Americans, judges, multinational corporations, public schools, furriers, newspaper owners, fox hunters, generals, class traitors, and, of course, moderates. Or, if you'd rather be an extremist on the hard right, no problem, fine, you still get a lovely list of enemies, only they're different ones. Noisy minority groups, unions, Russia, weirdos, demonstrators, welfare sponges, meddlesome clergy, peaceniks, the BBC, strikers, social workers, communists, and, of course, moderates. And upstart actors. Now, once you're armed with one of these super lists of enemies, you can be as nasty as you like and yet feel your behaviors morally justified. So you can strut around abusing people and telling them you could eat them for breakfast and still think of yourself as a champion of the truth, a fighter for the greater good, and not the rather sad paranoid schizoid that you really are.
Isn't that interesting? How fascinating is that? Because we just saw a video this morning. Actually, it's been around for a few days where a lady tried to grab a MAGA hat off of a dude and then chase him down the subway. Good thing is she fell on her face. Now, I'm not celebrating that she fell on her face, but anyone who thinks it's okay to do stuff like that, they're this. Wherever you just saw it on your screen. They've been psyoped. They believe that the other side is evil or bad or just enough that they're stupid. They don't know anything. They're just dumb. And I've fallen victim to this. So I'm not immune. I'm just pointing this out so you guys see what's going on, why people are going at it right now so badly. It's not going to stop. But notice both, there it is. You heard it. Both sides have an issue with moderates. Why can't they just make up their mind? I remember in Florida, when Florida was deciding the election between Bush and Gore, and they couldn't just, man, why can't these people learn how to vote? Why is it taking them so long? And how do they not know who to vote for? They're moderates. These are people who are genuinely in the middle, who are only voting on their issues. They don't care about all the extra stuff. I'm not moderate, but I understand moderates, and I've grown to learn everyone's perspectives, and that's why I like hearing people who I disagree with, so I understand them. But isn't that interesting how, if you look at even back then, again, this is 30 years ago, I think they said, they were having, that was the birth of it all. But both sides have a whole group of people that they just don't like. I thought it was fascinating. Oh, okay. So this, and I added this so you guys can see how sure they were, because this is going to lead to why they're so angry right now at Trump and why they're so angry at Elon Musk, because it really is. It's all about success. But this is them saying that Trump could never win. That arrogance. I don't think they were that arrogant. I think they were trying to portray arrogance and confidence so that their voters came out and voted for this person, Kamala.
You know, well, I think he's fading. I've said that for a long time, but he's probably still has. I was talking to a friend of mine in New Hampshire yesterday, probably 25 to 30% support. You get a crowded field, he could come out of there, he could win, but he's never going to be president of the United States.
Now that's a Republican. I almost voted for this guy. I don't remember when he ran. He ran against Romney and I think it was Obama. But I almost voted for this guy. I thought he was a logical conservative, but he was part of the swamp. Would have never known if Donald Trump hadn't come along. I learned so much about so many politicians that I thought were something that are not what I thought they were. Dan Crenshaw out of Texas. I was like, oh man, this dude's awesome. former military. I think he was special forces or SEAL, whatever. Cool dude. He's got an eye patch. He lost in war. He's all these medals. He's a warmonger. I didn't know that. I would have never guessed it. So when Trump came along, he exposed a lot of people and what their real motives were, and that's where I learned, oh wow, this is way deeper than even I thought, and I was always paranoid.
God, he's not going to be that. However, I mean, he's still a force in the party, but not as strong as a force.
Am I going to worry about it? First of all, I'm not going to worry about it, Phil, because he's not going to win.
Not going to win.
So you think he's just worn it out? You think people are just going to get fatigued?
Enough. I feel
category fatigue.
I mean, it's just going to be, we're talking about a few 100,000 people perhaps, but I think it's going to be a little closer than that. First of all, she's definitely going to win the popular vote, as Democrats almost always do now. But I think she will win. I think he will, of course, go batshit insane, as he always does. He won't accept it. His followers, I think, I don't think their heart will really be in it, as it was in 2020. Some of them, there's lots of people who will always be in the bunker with Mrs. Goebbels, taking the poison and giving the poison to the children, because it's better than living in a world without National Socialism. I make an analogy, but I don't say he's a Nazi. But I think for most people, it's just fatigue. Yes, I think it's time.
Talking to the guy.
They're sick of Donald Trump. Now he's going to meet with Trump, and now all the left hates him. He's supposed to meet with Trump, I think this week. If not this week, next week. All the left hates him now, just for meeting with the guy. Same guy right there. This is another lady. She was a really popular pollster. Always right. Always right. Always right.
In the store, of course, asking him, did he vote? And he said he did early voting, and he asked me if I early voted. And he asked me, why I was getting the champagne. And I said, because I'm going to be toasting Madam President tonight. And he just looked at me with kind of like a smirk on his face. And I said, she's going to win this, right? And he says, oh, well,
so
it's
clear.
Very, very close. And I said, no, it's not. He says, well, what do you mean? I said, no, it's not. The women of America are making their voices heard. Reproductive rights is what it all comes down to. And the women are voting in numbers relative to men that are unbelievable. She's won this. And I said to him, she's going to take every one of the swing states plus
every
Iowa.
one of them.
And he said, oh, but the numbers are so close. I said, I'm a political analyst. I'm telling you right now, the numbers.
She threw that authority out there. Everyone who was with me, who was watching me during this time, I was the only one saying Trump's going to win all of the swing states, except for maybe, I think it was Wisconsin that I wasn't sure of. And people were saying, no. I had people come up here and like, yeah, no, he's not going to. I'm like, what I was looking at was something different than everyone else was looking at. And I'm not bragging. I'm just saying how sure I was of the opposite. But the difference is I was right. I was crazy enough to say it out loud. And everyone thought it was so close, so close. I kept saying it's not close. I had a friend up here, Porker, if you guys remember him. And I was like, he's going for every swing state, because they were trying to figure out why he was visiting some of the states he was visiting, even ones that he had no chance of winning. He improved in every state, every single one. But they were so sure, and they were running these psyops, telling everybody, oh, it's 50-50. We have no idea. It's so close. It turned out to not even be remotely close.
Are there. She's taking this election. And then I said to him, you realize, and he didn't tell me who he voted for, but of course I knew. And I said, you do realize you wasted your vote, right? And I didn't care. And I walked out with my bottle of champagne and happily walked home.
This is what John Cleese was talking about. There's got to be an enemy. They got to be stupid or dumb or dangerous. That's the worst part. And she's talking about this guy like he's an enemy and he's an idiot. And I don't care. You wasted your vote.
Bye-bye. So, as you know, Kamala Harris did not win the election. As the numbers stand right now, there were 18 million fewer votes than in 2020. And as I have said all along, you have to have a huge, huge turnout. And it goes to the Dems. And we didn't have it. There is one fundamental thing that you cannot account for when you're using data to predict or project the outcome of an election, is you can't factor in the impact of racism or the existence of racism and misogyny.
Oh, the math is.
That's what the left went straight back to before it was even over. That night, I was here. I was live. I was sitting right where I am right now. We were all celebrating. While this lady's over there talking about race, sexism, and all that other nonsense. This guy here, same thing. Chris Sununu. But before I move forward, yes, they cast Cube out just for saying he was going to meet with Trump before he even met with him. Then when he met with him, whoo, traitor was that's a nice way to put it. Phoenix Rising. They were calling him a coon, a sellout. Like Cube, of all people, Mr. and NWA. Okay.
Shown Donald Trump has no chance.
No chance.
Mr. President,
So this is current now. Now we're current. And listen to what this lady says and listen to the response. They're going to oppose absolutely everything. Listen to this.
January, Doge has saved $115 billion. That's amounts to
order.
Please. That amounts to $714 per taxpayer.
$117 billion is saved, and they booed. And that's not a regular audience. That's a federal government. That's Congress. Why are they booing for saving you money? We said this. I think Phoenix Rising has said this. They just don't like you. They don't like us. They don't like the normal taxpayer. They don't think they should have to answer to us. But let's listen to what they did celebrate, because this is Illinois. Listen to what the left really want and why they're so upset, because America voted against this stuff.
We expanded Medicaid to cover gender-affirming surgeries. We brought inclusive LGBTQ plus curriculum into our schools so that all students now learn about the contributions of queer and trans trailblazers from Marsha P. Johnson and Harvey Milk. The State Board of Education is implementing gender-inclusive policies to ensure that our schools are welcoming and affirming. And I'm proud to say that my administration is the most diverse administration in state history.
So everything that they love is being reversed right now. DEI, you just heard them talk about diversity. You heard them talk about all the alphabet stuff. Transing kids and putting the stuff in schools. All that stuff is being reversed. This is why they're behaving the way that they're behaving. Listen to this woman. She's an actress. I want you guys to think about how many trans people you've met in your lives and how many are in your radius or your circle of life, where you're at in life. How many have you even met? And then listen to how many she knows. And then ask yourself, is this even possible?
Most importantly, I am here today as the mother of a proud trans man. I am here today as the aunt of a proud trans man. My best friend's kid is trans, and my kid's best friend is trans.
Do you know 4 trans people? Do you know of 4 trans people? In this country, that the odds of her being the mother of a trans person, being the aunt of a trans person, their kid or their best friend's kid having a trans kid, and then her best friend's kid's friend being trans. What are the odds that this is even possible numerically? What she's saying is not possible. I'm going back. Listen to how many she knows personally, closely of. Oh, sorry, I hit the mic. Closely of 4 trans people. No, you don't. There's no.
To ensure that our Say that my administration is the most diverse administration in state history.
Most importantly, I am here today as the mother of a proud trans man. I am here today as the aunt of a proud trans man. My best friend's kid is trans, and my kid's best friend is trans. My wife and I, our lives are filled with the most amazing, beautiful, brave, trans people, young and old, but especially young.
Especially young. Why? Why? Yeah, and see, I understand that. That makes sense because if that's what they do, that's what they're gonna be around. But this is all within her family circle and her best friend's circle, and her wife, of course. But why especially young people? This is why they got cast out. Trans Factory. It's sad, but that's what that's what it is. I'm not going to keep going on this because this could be a whole live on its own.
My trans kid had his top surgery at NYU a number of years ago. His doctors were fantastic. His surgeon was the best we could have imagined. It's
so great when you can find a surgeon to mutilate your child. Now, I wish I knew how old the kid was. She said many years ago. She's pretty old, so the kid could be a man right now, or a woman, or whatever, however the transition was made. But it's interesting that their focus is always on young kids.
And the idea that the city is filled with young people who thought they had a place to go where they could receive the highest care, and that place has now been shut to them, sickens me to my core.
Trump has just... She's so mad that they won't allow kids to mutilate themselves and give permanent damage to their bodies. Now, this one's really good. This one's really good because the person, I think she's bisexual. She may be gay. She's part of Gays Against Grooming, which I think everyone should be against grooming. But this one's this is a very interesting conversation here. What's going on, Bernard?
Removed the T from LGBT on all the government websites. I don't even know what to say.
It's okay if you don't know what to say, because I do. See, these are orientations. This is who you're attracted to, but these are identities. This is how you perceive yourself, as well as how you wish for others to perceive you. Then what happened was these two groups just got smooshed together, even though they're not the same thing. And even though they never belonged together to begin with, we were doing pretty well until the extremist activism started. And now the extremists on the left have inspired the extremists on the right to begin attempting to overturn gay marriage. So thank you for that. If you didn't know about that, yes, it is true. And shall this continue progressing? Like, if you think for 1 second that I will hold back because it's my party, you got me all the way messed up. So while y'all are mad that the government removed the T from the website, the rest of us are mad about your actions over the last 4 years that have compromised the entire community.
What did you do last week?
Address, you have my banking information?
I'm a taxpayer.
So this is just, again, I'm just showing all the things that they're really mad about. To show why we're seeing what we're seeing when it comes to Elon Musk and Donald Trump and how they're acting. Listen, look at how old these people are. So these are federal workers who got that email saying, "Hey, what did you do last week?" So this guy, of course, is inflaming the situation. He's at a protest asking them, "Hey, what did you do last week?"
But I'm curious, what did you do last week if you're a federal employee?
Are you one of these guys?
Is it fair? Is it fair for the American taxpayer to
Sorry.
ask?
Loud noises! Loud noises!
Excuse me, can you stop that for a second?
No, I can't.
Okay. Can I ask, you work for the government? Or you're a veteran, right?
Are you a
It's the
veteran?
behavior.
Well, then what
Are you
doing here?
I'm asking
You come
people.
to a Holocaust memorial wearing
Nazi outfit? How was that even?
He just compared his Doge T-shirt and his Doge hat to a Nazi outfit. Remember what John Cleese was saying? They have to be evil. They can't just disagree. Can't just be wrong, if you want to call them wrong. They have to be evil. They have to be Hitlerian. Now, obviously, he's provoking the situation, but the whistles, really? Is this, how old are you? Have a conversation to disagree with them or ignore them. The whistles?
Equivalent to this at all? Would you do that? No, I would not do that. How is that equivalent? You're comparing this to the Holocaust? Are you kidding? That's absolutely ridiculous.
Look at him. That guy's like laughing maniacally. What's going on, Nene Loyal? You see how that's an adult. Like, this is psychotic behavior. What did John Cleese say? That's what John Cleese was talking about. Look at how they're laughing. Like, it's not real. They're not really laughing. It's anger. It's fury.
Get this man out of here.
Go back just a little bit.
I'm asking you to a Holocaust.
Sorry about that.
Wearing a Nazi outfit. How is that even equivalent to this at all? Would you do that? No, I would not do that. How is that equivalent? You're comparing this to the Holocaust? Are you kidding? That's absolutely ridiculous.
Now, this is psychosis. Look at how they're laughing. There's nothing genuine about this. It's psycho. If you see somebody doing this on the street, stay away. Watch this guy, the last one especially.
Get this man out of here now. But if that doesn't happen, and we're not promoting it for 1 second, but if that doesn't happen, there will be violence.
Oh, really?
And these people had the opportunity to stop it. And they didn't.
So she's the justice warrior. She's the speaker of truth who's trying to stop the violence while calling for violence. What did John Cleese say earlier? And gee, well, I saw you. I'll send you that video. But this is exactly what he was talking about. You have to make them the enemy so that your psychosis seems good. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, you're acting on the side of truth and good and positivity. Daisies. Now, we're leading into this.
Graham Avenue, Maslow, here in Brooklyn. So look at this. Look at what this is in Brooklyn, Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Who will kill Elon? What the heck is this? Now this is a serious threat here. This is a serious threat.
You ever see the movie They Live? What's going on, Roll Rich? There was a movie back in the day with Roddy Piper, and it just the idea doesn't seem very interesting, but when you watch it, it's like scary because this is that. People are hiding in plain sight that absolutely hate your guts. And then you start seeing signs. Who will kill Elon? Where did that come from? Why would anyone put that up? And how is that not a threat? How's that not a threat? They're calling on violence. So you hear them say they're gonna be violent, but they're trying to stop it. But if they don't stop it, there's going to be violence. But in the movie They Live, he had to put on these sunglasses that showed everything. And everywhere there was just signs of telling people what to do subliminally. So you may not see it, you may not think about it, but somebody walking past this is going to see that. Who will kill Elon? Some people will be like, what the hell? And just keep walking. But that's how you normalize stuff. By doing stuff like this. So this is a campaign. They're saying that it's going to be. Yeah, that's it. And he put on these glasses and he saw everyone was aliens. They were creepy looking too, with big bug eyes and like skeleton faces. Let me see if I can find if you haven't seen its old movie, it's probably really dated. But it's just the idea was a fascinating. In 1988, wow, I'm old. Wow. But this, let's put on. Yep, this is what the people look like. It's crazy. Share screen. There we go. Yeah, I know I'm old, man. Jeez. But so if you look, move it over here so I know it's working. Yeah, there you go. He put on the glasses and this is what he saw. But you see Obey, when you take the glasses off, it was like a Coca-Cola sign. It was a really interesting idea especially for back then. So he's sitting there with this face because what he sees are people walking around looking like this. But they don't know that he sees them until he reacts like, whoa. And they're like, oh man, I think he sees us. It is a really interesting movie. Just the concept. They should remake it and just not call it They Live and because the concept is brilliant. Brilliant. Because I think it was like 2 out of every 4 or 5 people were these things, these creepy looking things. Really, really weird. I ain't trying to do all that. But like really nasty looking. But again, once people saw what they look like in the movie theater, was it the movie theater? It may have been Betamax. Yeah, I'm old. It may have been a tape. Back in the days we had tapes. But when they take it off, people were like, "Oh," because I remember being like, "Oh." But it's all this subliminal stuff. So when people see these signs,
right here,
just there, casually as you walk down the street, that's not good for your psyche because you're just gonna notice these things. It's in your peripheral, whatever. You could see it.
Yeah. This is a serious threat.
It's a very serious threat.
Man, if there's enough outrage here when someone wants to kill Biden, there'll be enough outrage from the left. This is really sick right now. This is sick times.
There is news amid the growing number of attacks on Tesla vehicles and dealerships, arson and vandalism across the U.S. There are multiple people under arrest tonight, and Attorney General Pam Bondi now calling the attacks domestic terrorism and what Elon Musk says the company is now doing. Here's our chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky, tonight.
Tonight, Elon Musk says his company is stepping up security after a wave of firebombings, shootings, and vandalism targeting Tesla. As part of the enhanced security, Tesla is activating Sentry mode on every car in the dealership. That means security sensors and cameras are on and recording.
Just think about why people are doing this. What did he really do? What did Elon Musk really do? He ran with Donald Trump and said, we need to stop wasting money or it's unsustainable. It's the end of this country. What did Donald Trump do? He said, I'm going to take this guy, one of the most successful man in human history, the most successful man in human history, right? I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to have him look into waste. And now you have all these swamp creatures like those people on They Live looking like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I think he sees me. USAID, I think he sees us. Does he really? I don't know if he sees us. Nah, he can't see me. And then he looks dead at him, pulls his glasses down, and they're like, he sees us. This is bad. This is really, really bad. They're freaking out. Now, the guy who Trump said, I'm going to bring with me to do this, and then Trump gets elected and he brings him to do this. Now they're mad at Trump for doing it. Well, this is what he said he was going to do. And then they turn to the right and say, this isn't what you guys were asking for. Will you denounce it? No, this is what we wanted. Oh, so you're okay with him stealing Medicaid and Medicare? And it's like, it's a really weird game, a really weird reverse psychology thing where I guess I'm supposed to feel bad for electing somebody for doing what they said they were going to do. That fight scene was fire. You are not lying, dude. That fight scene was amazing. But that's why people are destroying Elon Musk's cars. And I don't understand how one leads to the other because he's saving you money and you're burning stuff and shooting stuff and blowing up stuff. Really weird. Yeah, she will. So because he's doing what he said he's going to do, they're mad at him. You said you were going to do this, now you're doing it. Okay, that's the point.
Watch as Sentry Mode is activated on this Tesla this week. A man seen allegedly keying the car at a parking lot in San Jose was arrested and charged with felony vandalism. Today, Attorney General...
That guy had to be in his 60s. What is this guy doing? Look at this guy with a USA jacket on. So it's American to vandalize Americans' cars just because they bought a car that you don't want them to buy? Is that American?
This week, a man seen allegedly...
Look at him. The dude's got to be at least 60, 65. This guy's retirement age, and he's keying a car. How old are we? This is what disagreement is. What did John Cleese say earlier?
Keying the car at a parking lot in San Jose was arrested and charged with felony vandalism. Today, Attorney General Pam Bondi said those charged with destroying Tesla property are part of a wave of domestic terrorism. Prosecutors said a suspect arrested for throwing Molotov cocktails at a dealership in Salem, Oregon, was also armed with a high-powered rifle. Prosecutors said another suspect who allegedly tried to set fire to Teslas in Loveland, Colorado, was found with materials to produce firebombs. And Daniel Clark Pounder, accused of torching a Tesla charging station in South Carolina and spray painting profane messages, allegedly found with a 3-page letter voicing objections to President Trump and Elon Musk's federal layoffs, writing, "We will not stand idly by."
Why is he doing that? Because he believes that he is the savior. He wrote a manifesto. They all write manifestos. He probably has 3 names. I didn't pay attention. But everyone who writes a manifesto has 3 names. It's probably why I don't have a manifesto. These people are insane. He thinks he's saving the world by blowing up Tesla charging stations? Where did they get this idea?
This is what happened to my car, y'all.
It's a black man.
Look at this. Look at this. Y'all see this? Clown American. I don't know what this is. Is this paint? War. Bro, somebody destroyed my car. Destroyed my car while I was taking you up to the doctor. Destroyed my car. Like, bro, I swear to God, you can ask Tiny. You can ask everybody. Every time I ride my car, they be like, bro, I love your car. I just hate the dude that make it. I don't give a, bro, I don't. What the f do I have to do with Eli? I like the car because it's a nice little car. It's unaverage. This is crazy. Look at this. Imagine riding around with, I'm riding around with my son in this car. I don't have my camera. I don't have nothing. I'm straight using my goddamn phone, bro.
When they
just think about it though. People waited. There was a line to get those trucks when they first came out. It was in demand, so it means it's popular. If it's popular, it means that you're going to spend money for it. If you spend money for it, you have earned the right to not have that happen. But they're celebrating it. People are celebrating that. That's to me, there's nothing less American than not being able to drive your car because somebody doesn't like the political stance that is implied by owning a car, even though you had it before all this started.
Do it to a Tesla dealership, it's really bad. But when they do it to the halls of Congress, we should pardon them. Is that your position?
No, I've never. I don't
Are
support,
you okay with the January 6th?
I know you haven't been around for a while, so let me educate you about my position about January the 6th.
I'm so sorry.
Let me educate you.
No, you don't need to patronize
you don't need to. You don't need to be condescending to me. So let me educate you about my position. You want to attack me? Let me finish. Let me finish.
Let's do this January 6th and then you're.
I'm sorry you're getting emotional.
I'm sorry you're a condescending person who hasn't been paying attention to what I do.
Okay. Stop, guys.
So here's the issue. I didn't support what happened on January the 6th and was one of the first Republicans to call it out. I don't support the pardons. I have repeatedly, just like my friend Ashley here, said that no violence in our political system is acceptable. But this right here, what's going on with a guy who helps our country, who runs successful companies, who doesn't have to be doing this, and now one of his companies is under systematic terroristic threat and violence all over the country, and people seem to be laughing about it or fine with it. It's outrageous. I've sat at this table and had people say, we should cut Elon Musk from the government totally. He rescued our astronauts today. Is that what we want? The treatment of this guy is outrageous. These people who are doing this need to be found, put in jail, and made an example of.
The test.
Yeah, she lumped him in with January 6ers and saying, well, you're okay with him pardoning them, but now this is bad. It's, first of all, it's a stupid analogy, but even if you wanted to put them together, she's patronizing him, and they got mad that he checked her. Like, what are we doing? Come on, lady. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're so emotional. This is what you wanted. And all he did was say the truth. It's just dumb. As a trucker, I was told to always check my fifth when I leave the truck stop because people that work for these companies have ill will. And really, that's interesting. That's wild. That's wild.
The center saying it led to about $500,000 in damages. 2 others in Colorado and South Carolina also charged. Bondi writing, let this be a warning. If you join this wave of domestic terrorism against Tesla properties, the Department of Justice will put you behind bars. The attack's part of a growing movement to target Tesla as a form of protest against the company's CEO, Elon Musk, and his wide-reaching role in the Trump administration. And a website surfaced targeting individual Tesla owners, showing some names, personal contact information, and addresses for Tesla drivers, putting some owners on edge. It's unclear who's behind the website, which appears to be taken down. Musk calling those behind the...
How can they not be able to find out who created a website that gave personal information of people who simply owned a Tesla? They didn't work for Elon Musk. They weren't part of the government. These are people who just owned a Tesla. This website started putting people who purchased Teslas personal information, name, address, and phone number on this website. Just because they shut it down doesn't mean they should not be able to find these people. That is an act of terrorism. That is inciting violence. Unlike what they claimed Trump did, that's inciting violence. Why are you putting out their personal information? You don't have the right to do that. This is insane. This is insane. He did name them terrorists. That's why that one guy got deported. He did label them a terrorist group. But they definitely are. They definitely are. But just think about that. Some person who has an IP address, you can track back to them who put this stuff up. Created a website and just started putting Americans' information on the website so you can contact them and go after them because they own a type of car. Fascism? Maybe? Just a little bit?
He attacks bad people.
They want to hurt Tesla because we're stopping this terrible waste and corruption.
You know what their attitude is? I made my money all by myself. How dare your government take my money from me? I don't want to pay taxes. Or, I built my company with my bare hands. How dare your government tell me how I should treat my customers, the land and water that I own, or my employees? They hate government. Government's a barrier to people, a barrier to stop them from doing things. They want to destroy it. We are not letting them do it, and we're united.
Now, so his issue is against rich people. Even though he's rich, filthy rich, he wants to take more of their money. And you see his attitude towards Americans who don't like paying taxes. Like, who likes to pay taxes? I've been paying taxes since I'm 16 years old. That's when I was on my own. Never once did I say, oh, I can't wait to pay my taxes. Am I put in this category of people he's talking about? He's saying the quiet part out loud.
Or, I built my company with my bare hands. How dare your government tell me how I should treat my customers, the land and water that I own, or my employees? They hate government. Government's a barrier to people, a barrier to stop them from doing things. They want to destroy it. We are not letting them do it, and we're united.
The government's there to stop you from doing things. He's saying it. He's saying it. He didn't say doing bad things. They're there to create red tape. That's what they do best. That's what bureaucracy is. It's red tape. Hey, I want to put a new shower in my upstairs bathroom. Okay, you got to go to the government. You got to ask for permission. They gotta look at the plans, and then they may approve it. They may not, depending on where you are. If you're in California, it apparently takes an act of Congress just to get modifications done on your own home. It's yours. It's yours. What are we doing? And it is an American car. What's going on, Dantana? It's an American-made car. That company employs hundreds of thousands. I think he said over 100,000 people. Americans. And you're trying to destroy that? So let me get this straight. 10 years ago, Teslas were the wave of green energy to get away from fossil fuels. Yep. Yet the same green energy people are, ironically, environmental are fire. Whatever it is. They're blowing them up. They're burning them up. This is what we're doing. This doesn't make any sense. It's the same people. It really is. Anti-fascist fascists. This is just Ibram X. Kendi, the anti-racist racist. That's what he is. They're all contradictions, every one of them.
Not all black Republicans, but I see a black MAGA person who is carrying Donald Trump's water and they know that he's lying. It is the shortest line to the front. Because if you're black and you're whatever, you're just in line with a bunch of other Democrats that are doing the same thing that you're doing. But if you become a black MAGA person, it's like, whoa, let's book this person, let's put him on television.
So you don't think you can be a sincere black MAGA person?
No, I just said, I don't think that, I just said, I think there can be sincere Republicans.
But you can't be a sincere black Republican?
I don't think that you can be a rational MAGA, be black and be a rational MAGA person. I think you can be black and be a Republican.
I think they would find that very insulting.
Yeah, they would. I would. Hello? I'm not rational? You got fired for saying stuff like this and for saying anti-Semitic things. You're rational. I've never lost a job for saying something stupid. Never once. So you can't be me, is what he's saying. It's not acceptable. Or I'm going to demean you and say you're not even a rational human being because you disagree with me. Remember what John Cleese said earlier? I'll go back to that and just play that whole thing again because this is insanity. This is insanity.
Well, I mean, the truth is often insulting.
He saw Don's appearance with Bill Maher, and he said, I'm a proud husband, father of 3, combat veteran, West Point graduate, Ivy League triple degree holder, and a U.S. congressman. You know how I achieved that, Don? By being a serious, rational person.
Let's be real. How many people with those same
DL.
qualifications have been fired and called DEI?
Well, first of all, according to D.L. Hughley's argument, every single black person should be a Democrat. And I think that's utterly ridiculous. You see, we have a two-party system, and you need people of all walks of life on both sides of the party, and that's what makes this system the best you could ever imagine and the best in the entire world. And the reason why I listed my qualifications is because, quite frankly, no, actually, Kamala Harris does not have my qualifications. I'm a West Point graduate. I served my country in combat as an Apache pilot. I have 3 master's degrees from Cornell University, and I'm the congressman for a white majority district that President Trump would have won by almost 20 points, and I won by 26 points because literally people are not looking at the color of my skin, they're looking at my qualifications, and our party doesn't play that game.
So if you could say something to D.L. Hughley right now, what would you say?
I was actually a big fan of his growing up and a big fan of his comedy. And I would love to actually have a conversation with him, a substantive conversation about this, because that's how we learn, that's how we grow based on dialogue. And this whole thing started because Don Lemon made a carte blanche statement about all black people, which is utterly ridiculous. And you're saying that black people cannot choose the politics that they want to follow or choose the political party that they want to be a part of because you want to silo them into thinking that we all have to be the exact same and think alike. We are not monolithic. We all have different backgrounds. We all come from different places. My military background is my father is a colonel. My sister is a West Point graduate. My brother is a West Point graduate. I grew up in a very conservative home. The left has nothing to offer someone like me based on the way that I grew up. And I'm smart enough to understand that and realize that. And I'm not going to continue to support the left if it doesn't coincide with the way I believe. We now have the right to choose whatever we want. And that's what I would tell DL.
And you're absolutely correct. Black people were overwhelmingly Republican right after abolition, all the way up until, Mel, help me out here. When did we flip? When did black people flip? When did black people flip and start voting Democrat? Was it in the 50s? 40s? I know Mel knows this. I know he does. I should know this. 36. Okay, so all the way through the 30s. So from abolition all the way through the 30s, black people were overwhelmingly Republican. Overwhelmingly. Yeah, they changed tactics, and then it really got bad in the 60s. Really got bad in the 60s. They targeted black women specifically. My first few lives, if you go back to when I first started going live, I talk about this stuff. It was insane. Insane. But let's listen to Eddie Griffin. I did not know this about Eddie Griffin, but he didn't like that narrative either.
How the fuck is he stealing? Why would he steal? He the richest man on earth. He gonna steal your tax dollars? Get the fuck out of here. You know how stupid y'all motherfuckers sound? Elion steals. Y'all steal.
Elion.
Your bank account don't match what we pay you as a government official. Why is that? You only getting paid $270,000 a goddamn year, and your bank account is in the millions? How is that, Nancy Pelosi? How the fuck you worth $290 million? Is it called insider trading? Because you know the deal was going down before it went down because you had to sign the shit into law? Is that how it's played? How the fuck y'all call yourself human? How the fuck you couldn't stand up and applaud for a 13-year-old kid who's fighting cancer to this day, still whooping cancer's ass, and Trump made him an honorary Secret Service because that's the boy's dream. But y'all couldn't even stand up for that because y'all some straight up told mother. Fuck you all. I wasn't born with a jack stamped on my motherfucking head. I voted Republican, and I think I did the right goddamn thing. I know I did the right goddamn thing. And y'all probably trick some more thinking that you have to vote Democrat if you're black. We not a monolith, motherfucker. I think for my motherfucking self, and I'm sure there's other black people in the United States of America that think for their motherfucking selves.
Chris Matthews, what do you...
Just think about why does he have to say that? And why does it feel to me like he's preaching when he's saying something so obvious? That's like, I shouldn't even be excited to hear a black man say something like that, but I am, because it's so out of the norm. And what Don Lemon was saying is that you get pushed to the front if you're a black conservative. Since when? If you're a black conservative, you get pushed to the front? I don't think there was a more hated woman on earth than Candace Owens when she came out as conservative. Actually, today, she was listed as the most hateful anti-Semitic person on earth. She won anti-Semite of 2024. Like, you think that's good, Don Lemon? Or could it possibly be you just disagree with her, so you hate her? Like, what do you think this is? Right now, she's doing a series on Harvey Weinstein, who's definitely a Jew. She's still the most hated, yeah. But what Don Lemon was saying is that if you come out as conservative, they push you forward. No, they don't. No, they absolutely don't. Ice Cube. We just talked about Ice Cube. You think that was pushing him forward for coming out as conservative? You really believe that? But now you see Cat Williams saying stuff. You see Eddie Griffin saying stuff. And it's like, oh, wait a minute. It's starting to become more okay. And you don't have to like her. You don't have to like her. But my point is to say that they will push you forward for being a conservative or being on the right is just not true. 100% false. Yeah. If I told you guys how many of my videos I had to fight to keep up, you would be amazed. How many random viewers I had, not viewers, actually I've lost views. I've lost subs in bulk, and it's like, what is going on? And then I'd see the videos, and if they didn't strike my videos because I'm not monetized, but what they would do is they would make it so that I couldn't put it up. Several videos, and over a dozen. I've done hundreds of videos, and I've done dozens of lives. I have had to fight for a lot of these because of my not even conservative, my right-wing views. They do not push you for being black and having these opinions. They just don't. They don't. They absolutely shadow ban. I know for a fact. I've sat here, I think with Mel, and typed in my name. You had to type in there was a point in time where you had to type in my full name just to find my channel. You gotta do that with anybody. I went into my wife's account, who she's a subscriber of mine, and I still have to type in my full name to pull it up. Clearly, something was going on. It's not as bad right now. You don't have to type in my whole name anymore, but something was seriously going on. And to say that what Don Lemon said, to say that they'll push you forward for having these opinions, no. They don't want free thinkers. They want you to be Republican or Democrat. That's it. They don't want any independents that can sway the election. They hate moderates, both sides. What did John Cleese say?
You make of these numbers for the Democrats?
Well, you could have seen them the night that Trump addressed the Congress, and you watched the Democratic Party. They seemed like they weren't there. They were sort of vacant. They weren't saying anything with their manner. They never questioned the facts. Right. They let the president lie about Social Security and say that we're giving benefits to people who are 160 years old or to their grandchildren. We allowed Elon Musk to go on television and tell everybody that we're using Social Security as a lure to bring people into the country illegally, that we're giving them benefits, which we're not. We're giving them to illegal people in the country who came in illegally. We give it to them. Lie after lie after lie. And
that's a lie?
I'll tell you.
These are facts. What he's saying that are lies, they're facts. We know this now. It's on the government websites. I think it was 52 or 59 million went to illegal immigration and housing them in New York and across this country in high-end hotels. What is he talking about? He will never. No. Don Lemon is scared to talk with masculine, straight-talking black men. Have you ever seen him? No, he won't. He won't. He got humiliated by Morgan Freeman, and Morgan Freeman was only 132 at the time. But he cannot have a discussion with a straight black masculine man. He won't. Can't.
James Carville, who said the Democrats should stay silent, may be partially right, but where he's wrong is you have to have a fact checker. There needs to be a war room. Remember in 1992? Yeah. Remember how Bill Clinton won that election because he had a war room. He and George Stephanopoulos were down there in Little Rock, and they were checking every fact, and nobody checks the facts anymore. And the lies.
Oh, yeah, it's a fact. You didn't know he was only 132? I'm just kidding.
Are getting through to the American people.
They are.
Today, protests outside of the Brooklyn home of the Democrats' Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. Chuck, resign! Facing backlash from within his own party over his vote to not shut down the government and instead back the GOP on a government spending deal touted by President Trump.
Are you feeling pressure to step down?
Look, I'm not stepping down. It was a vote of principle. You know, sometimes when you're a leader, you have to do things to avoid a real danger that might come down the curve.
Calls from within, however, for new leaders of a party in D.C. with now limited power under Republican control.
The American people are fed up with the old guard. There needs to be a renewal.
This weekend out west,
if the people of America are going to stand up to Trumpism,
Tens of thousands gathered for the largest opposition rallies yet against Trump's overhauls in Washington.
We are witnessing an oligarchy in America.
First of all, I just want to say.
All right, so what that video was about is Chuck Schumer did something interesting. I don't know why he did it, but he did it. And he voted to keep the government open and for a Republican continuing resolution. Now, for those of you who've been following me since I started going live, I hate continuing resolutions. What that means is the government will move on spending as is at the current rate that they were spending, which I disagree with. I did a whole live stream and I've done videos on Matt Gaetz, who at the time was, I think he was in the House. Yeah, he was in the House. He was a House representative, and he got Speaker McCarthy out of there because he voted for a continuing resolution, and he wanted to do line by line or single subject bills. That's what he wanted to do. I absolutely despise continuing resolutions. So again, I disagree with Donald Trump on that spending bill. What they were doing, again, is it's a blanket bill. I don't like that. I think everything should have its own bill. It would be so much easier, and it would actually make Congress work, which is why they don't want to do it. They don't want to go in and actually have votes and debate things. They just don't. Yeah, I think he's 2 years older. I think he's 2 years older. But Schumer voted for something that he would have voted for anyway because it was a continuing resolution and the government loves spending. But in this time, see, this is what I say when I say I'm not Republican. In 2022, when Matt Gaetz did what he did and bullied Kevin McCarthy, he was saying, I don't like this, and Republicans were 100% with him, most of them. Then in 2020, was it 2022? Whatever year it was, the year that they lost, so that was 2022. That's when the red wave never happened. He was speaking about this, and I was agreeing with him. I was saying, nope, we should not be doing continuing resolutions. Now, Republicans are in power, and they're trying to push through continuing resolutions, saying, yeah, we got to keep the government open. Identical to what Democrats did. Identical. I disagree. What's going on, Lou? I don't like that. I don't like spending money just to spend money because you're scared that they're going to shut down some national parks. If that's what it takes to get stuff done, do it. So the Democrats being mad at Chuck Schumer for doing what they wanted him to do 2-3 years ago is weird, to say the least. Now, again, here I disagree with Scott Jennings. I still like him and I still love his delivery, but I don't agree that we should be spending money. But look at what he does, because they wanted to filibuster the continuing resolution, the exact same spending that they passed 2 years ago, and then 2 years before that, and then 2 years. Every year we do this.
I'm grateful for Chuck Schumer today. He helped defeat a racist Jim Crow filibuster in the Senate. And to stand up against the racist Jim Crow filibuster tactics was a moment of pure courage. And I just think he should be lauded by anybody in any party for that. That's number one. Number two.
It's a deep cut. Let me just explain to people at home. When there was a Democratic push against the filibuster, people in the Democratic Party were saying it was a racist era, Jim Crow era. And it was tactic, the filibuster. So he's being cheeky.
And not
to
only that, but he saved us from the Democrats in the House, laying off every single veteran in the federal government. Chuck Schumer, working with Donald Trump, saved us from that. So I think.
So he's being sarcastic because he's just used all the arguments that they used against Republicans when they were trying to filibuster against them for doing this exact same thing. So he's pointing out hypocrisy, irony, and it's funny because he's using their own arguments against them. Every year we go through this, which is why it drives me crazy. I couldn't find a live I was looking for. It may have been one of the ones that got pulled, but I did a whole live stream on. I'm the only person who can do a live stream on continuing resolutions. But I guarantee some of the people in here remember me talking about this because it doesn't make any sense. And most people don't know what that means. So I did a live on it. I don't care. I'm here to talk politics. That's it. That's all I care. It touches every aspect of our lives, and people don't understand that. That's why I believe it's important enough to do this.
I think he deserves a lot of credit this morning.
Scott,
every veteran would have been right off. Every veteran would have been laid off.
Scott's having a lot of fun.
Is it time for new leadership in the Senate?
Yes, ma'am.
Next question.
Have you lost confidence in him? The fact that you guys see this so differently.
Next question.
So now they're trying to get rid of Schumer. Good.
To say anything about Schumer when you were asked. No. Do not. No, my question was why are you afraid to say anything? Do not characterize my remarks. I'm not afraid about anything. But you went to another question. Anything.
And now there's talk of AOC running a primary challenge against Schumer.
I think there is a deep sense of outrage and betrayal. And this is not just about progressive Democrats. This is across the board, the entire party. It is a huge slap in the face.
You know, the proposals that they're bringing are horrendous enough for us to do that, and we should do that.
What's horrendous about the CR? It continues funding the government at Biden.
Horrendous about the CR is that it is a cut.
No.
Yes, it is.
No.
If you do not consider the cost of doing business, if you do not consider that the cost of living, for example, has gone up, that everything has gone up.
Now you're changing. It's not a cut. You're being dishonest.
It's a cut.
It's not a cut.
It's a cut.
It's continuing funding the government at the same levels. It's not a cut. You voted to shut down the government. You voted to lay off every veteran in the federal government. You're making a passionate plea for why Democrats didn't shut down the government. And now Chuck Schumer can't even have a book tour because Democrats are so enraged that the government was. And I'm just confused because last week I was told that people going and expressing their First Amendment rights was part of their democratic and civic duty. And now Chuck Schumer can't even have a book party with Democrats. Let's sign to the side.
I don't know why he's still employed at CNN, but he's the only thing I watch on CNN because if he's on a panel, he's going to make them look stupid. He's going to make them look stupid. It's phenomenal what he does. Nene Loyal, you voted for your MAGA. You are racist. I'm sorry. I have to break this to you. You're racist. Welcome to the racism club.
I actually think that Democrats are in agreement with you in the sense that they probably think Chuck Schumer should,
yes,
to
exactly.
Carrie's point, take the stroke.
2 weeks ago, he was attacking
show up and take the he should show up and take the L is what I'm saying. No one's saying he can't have it, Scott. He can do whatever he chose to, but once again, another example of him deciding to hide. I would love for him to go on the book tour so that he can answer the questions of the American people. Security risk perhaps may be true, according to what Abby has said and what his office is saying.
Who would be the security risk, though?
I don't know.
Who would be the security risk?
Wait a minute. The book is about.
Who is the risk?
Scott,
can we just admit who the risk is?
The book is about anti-Semitism, right? So I guess somebody that might be anti-Semitic might target
the left.
Chuck Schumer.
No, so he can't go on. He can't keep going on a tour because he cited security risks. Who's he scared of? That's what Scott Jennings was asking. It's the left. He's never had to worry about this before he went against the left. He's never had to worry about security before, not from the right. So when he asks, who's the security risk? Well, anti-Semites. No. It's you and people like you and people who listen to you.
ABC News on Meet the Press, they reported their polling found the highest level of enthusiasm in the country going in the right direction since 2004, 20 years. So President Trump is doing exactly what he campaigned on. That's why 76% of people said, according to CBS polling, agreed with his State of the Union speech, which included a lot of independents and a lot of Democrats who were watching that speech.
Carrie.
That is why...
Carrie, my namesake, Carrie.
Yes, my fellow Carrie.
You do know what you're saying is incorrect. I don't care about the polling.
Talk to NBC.
The American, I don't care what NBC is saying. I can talk to the people on the streets. Are you on the streets? Are you talking to people in real life situations who have everyday jobs who are saying they're unhappy? You know very well.
Are you saying CNN polling is wrong?
No. What I'm saying is, don't do me. Don't try me today, Scotty.
What I'm saying to you is that you know by and large.
No, what I'm saying to you is that you know by and large people are not happy.
No, they're very happy. They're unhappy with Democrats.
You're happy.
They're happy with Trump.
You're happy. Democrats aren't happy. We're not happy with Democrats.
Let me try to sort this out real quick.
The people who aren't happy are the people who didn't vote for Donald Trump. And I love how he just talks to them with a smirk. Don't try this today with me. Try what? Being honest? They hate it. They hate that guy so much. And he owns. I don't know what segregation law you're talking about, but I guarantee it ain't a segregation law. I'd have to look into that, Lou. I don't know what that is, but I guarantee it's not what it sounds like. Guarantee it's not what it sounds like. Yeah, it was getting testy. It was getting testy, huh? Listen to this dude. So the left is doubling, tripling, quadrupling, quintupling, septupling. I don't know after that. I don't know after 6. I don't know after 6. But they're saying we need to go lean into all of our terrible policies. This is what they're doing. And now he's going to tell you who he thinks is popular in the Democrat Party.
Love AOC. People love Jasmine Crockett. People love Eric Swalwell and the like. And I think that the Democratic Party should put the people out there who the people want. They should put the politicians out there who the people want, who they're asking for, who are meeting the moment with the same energy that
they're not asking for AOC.
Yes.
Not just discrediting polls. It was the internal CNN poll that she was discrediting on CNN. That's why he was smirking, and that's why she got mad at him. She was downplaying their own polls.
They are.
The people you party with.
I hear you.
No.
I hear you.
The people I party with don't like AOC.
Oh, please.
No, they don't at all.
Well, most people don't.
But
she's
AOC,
very far left.
Let me tell you why I'm saying that. Because AOC, because people will vote for AOC and Donald Trump on the same ticket. Because
do you hear how out of touch he is? First of all, he said she's popular, and the same people who vote for her would vote for Trump. No, never, no. They couldn't be further apart. They could not be further apart. Listen, this is Don Lemon. Listen to who he says is popular in a party. Eric Swalwell, who slept with a Chinese spy for a year, and he was on the House Intelligence Committee. He's popular. Jasmine Crockett, the shapeshifter chameleon, she's popular. And AOC, this is who he says should be leading up the party. I say, oh, do it. You got to do it. Please do it. Please do it. Please do it. Give the right 12 more years, because that's what you're going to do. Do it. Put these people in charge of the Democrat Party.
See, people love Jasmine Crockett. People love Eric Swalwell and the like. And I think that the Democratic Party should put the people out there who the people want. They should put the politicians out there who the people want, who they're asking for, who are meeting the moment with the same energy that
they're not asking for AOC.
Yes, they are.
The people you party with.
No. The people I party with don't like AOC.
Oh, please.
No, they don't at all.
Well, most people don't.
But
she's
AOC,
very far left.
Let me tell you why I'm saying that. Because AOC, because people will vote for AOC and Donald Trump on the same ticket. Because they're authentic. No, because they're authentic.
I don't think
Okay.
That Don.
I think you're wrong about that.
What people like about people like Trump and Fetterman is because it's irrelevant to her life.
But you don't know her life.
I know that being a gorgeous woman who I wouldn't even know was Hispanic in a city that has 1 million Hispanics and does not treat them badly.
But that doesn't mean she doesn't struggle. That doesn't mean that she was set down.
It implies it.
But that doesn't mean that she was set down in a Hispanic ghetto in the Bronx and had to deal with that growing up, and that she's come from a working class family.
It implies that it implies that in some way she's behind the 8 ball.
And this is what happened in the last election. Independents definitely rose. The right, the left, independents, all of them went in one direction, which is why the popular vote, the electoral college, states, all of the swing states. This is why it went the way it went. But he's sitting here explaining to Don Lemon, like, "Hey man, you're off here," and he's insisting, he's doubling down. This is what they do.
Because of that, and it's just not true. And so
I don't know if she's behind the 8 ball, but I don't think she's as privileged as many people who are in Congress right now.
Is that privileged or not? She was a bartender.
Yeah,
So I was a delivery boy.
But I'm saying sometimes, Bill, you don't agree with Donald Trump's policies.
No,
but that's what the people want.
Some of them,
whether you like her or not. I don't like what she did with Amazon in New York. But I think AOC is she's a Democratic icon.
Well,
People
she's
love
the
her.
wrong. So if you think that's the direction the country, the Democratic.
I'm not saying the policies that she espouses that's the
Don?
direction, but I'm saying that you have to give the people who are out front speaking for the party, not the people who are.
If you think
she's evolving,
yeah, she's evolving,
exactly.
as we all are,
and she is moving into
right.
She understands the game a little bit more, and if you notice, she is sort of becoming a sort of normal kind of Democrat in many ways.
Yes.
I think she's evolving.
Okay, great.
She's a very smart tactic. She's
great.
very smart.
Let's get behind that.
We have the Republicans on the run on three different issues. We have them on the run with respect to the economy. Donald Trump and House Republicans promised that they were going to lower the high cost of living. But instead, costs haven't gone down. They've gone up. Inflation is going up. Why?
Has it? Now, you're not supposed to gather inflation information month to month. It's dumb. It really is year over year. So, and I've been saying this also. I did a whole live on one of the few human beings who did a whole live on inflation. and what's going on, Hassan? You can't go month to month. It's dumb. It's dumb. You have to go year over year. So you have to do October 1 of this year to October 1 next year. If you do it month to month, it's going to look chaotic. It's going to look like cryptocurrency. It's going to look extremely volatile, and that's just not the case. But as of right now, if you use their barometer, no, it's not. It's actually getting better. It is.
Because Donald Trump and Republicans haven't been focused on doing anything to lower the high cost of living. Not a single bill, not a single executive action, not a single administrative order.
So when you work to stop spending, that is phase one of doing what he's talking about. So you get rid of, if they're able to actually save, we'll just say $1 trillion by cutting current waste. Next year, on this day, March 25th of 2026, all that money will be available to work towards fixing the issues. So what he's saying and what he's talking about within the first 100 days of Donald Trump's presidency is not possible. Now, he said, I'm going to do this, and he's working on doing that. That's all you really should be talking about. You shouldn't be talking about, well, how come everything isn't already fixed? And it's like, all right, there are certain things that he said he was going to do on day one that he definitely did. Other things you cannot say he's not working on. You just can't. He's doing too much. Like, what are we talking? What is it? He thinks, again, that the Democrats have it right, and they're doubling down.
House Democrats have to make sure we forcefully make the case to everyday Americans that we are trying to build an affordable economy. We know that costs are too high, and we know that people are struggling to live paycheck to paycheck, and that should never happen in the wealthiest country in the history of the world. We got to hold the line as it relates to the economic narrative, and we see that Trump's poll numbers are collapsing in that regard.
This to me.
Hakeem. Why are we in the situation we're in right now? And gee, well, it's not going to take that long. It's not. It'll be by the end of this year, we're going to see extremely different landscape than where we've been. Extremely different.
Was one of the more shocking figures that I saw. Made me go, wait a minute, hold on one second. Whoa! Americans on Trump and Joe's efforts. Musk and Doge should influence government spending and operations. Look at this. 54%. The majority say that he and they should. How about approve of Trump trying to cut staff at government agencies? Again, you get a majority here. 51%. So yeah, Elon Musk might not be that popular, but these cuts and the idea of spending cuts, at least within the federal government and cutting at government agencies, that actually has majority support. I was truly surprised by this, Kate, but the numbers are the numbers.
Well, there is a view that cuts across Democrat and Republican of people thinking that Washington is too big, bloated federal government, waste, fraud, and abuse. I mean, those are drain the swamp is what people run on over and over again. How do they feel? What do they think they're...
They don't run on that over and over again. Donald Trump has run on that. See, they're trying to not even give him credit for the drain the swamp rhetoric. Overwhelmingly, the people want him and Musk to do the same thing, but at the same time, they want you to believe that Musk and Trump are not popular and Doge is not popular. How can you have Elon Musk be extremely unpopular and the people saying they want him to do what he's doing? So why is he unpopular? We're going to go back to They Live and the psyops and the messaging of the media that constantly say he's bad, he's bad, he's trying to take over the country, he's trying to steal your money, he's trying to steal your social security numbers. This is what the left does, and they were hoping that would get rid of this mandate and that it would force Donald Trump to stop doing what he's doing with Doge. It's not going to happen. Orange man bad, kiss my cheeks. Orange man bad. It's not working anymore. That stuff is done.
They're actually cutting.
Yeah, what do they think they're actually cutting? Democrats want to argue that the type of spending that Musk is cutting is mainly necessary programs, but that comes in at just 36%. The wasteful spending actually wins the plurality here at 42%, according to a recent Washington Post Ipsos poll. And I think that is the reason why you see that when it comes to Musk and Doge, you see, in fact, the majority believe he should have some influence because they believe, the plurality believe, that he is cutting wasteful spending, not necessary programs that Democrats are arguing.
We're approaching 2 months.
And to be honest, I think that they should go back to what they were doing at first. So what they were doing at first was they were announcing all of the findings. I think they should just keep doing that. There's no reason to not do that. I know it's probably time consuming for Elon Musk to do press conferences like that. Maybe find a new face and he just be in the background, or name a new face of Doge while he does what he's doing so that they can do these press conferences. That was extremely effective when they went at USAID, and now they're going at they went USAID, can't remember all the other organizations. There's a couple more, but I want to do a live about them, so I don't want to bring them up yet. But when they went after them, everyone was like, wow, I can't believe how much they're wasting. They need to keep putting that information out, not just on X. They need a new face to come out and say, hey, this is what we found this week. Or even if you do it bi-monthly or bi-weekly, every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, I would do that and just do a press conference. All right, we found, the federal government was buying toilets for, $1,700 a pop. Just to keep that in people's heads. We are finding waste. This year, we are going to stop it. It's already been spent, but next year, that money will be readily available. And we won't be sitting here in the exact same situation that we've been in. So this young lady is really, really smart. And I'm going to end it out, I think, with her. Two clips of her, but we'll see. And she's talking about the tariffs and why she supports Trump, and she's former leftist.
I mean, you must have a feeling in your gut. Look me in the eye and tell me you don't.
And so what he's doing is the same tactic that I was talking about earlier of shaming, and it's a form of gaslighting, where you say, "Oh, you guys can't be happy with Trump now. What do you think now? Is this what you really wanted?" This is what I talked about earlier. But watch it actually in action now.
That this is really going badly, and I shouldn't have thrown my lot in with this team.
Oh no, I feel the opposite.
All right. Tell me why.
I'm so sorry, Bill.
No, tell me why.
No, I feel so proud of, I mean, I was never a Republican or a conservative. I was a leftist, and I am still a leftist. I'm just a MAGA leftist now because...
That makes no sense.
So it makes no sense when you hear it said, but when she breaks it down, this is why Trump won. He didn't harp on the things that the right is usually used to harping on. And you guys are going to hear why she says that she's a, what did she say? A leftist MAGA person, whatever she said. It sounds like a contradiction, but it's not. What's going on, Uncle L?
Please do, yes, please.
When I look at what President Trump ran on and the agenda that he's enacting right now, he took a Republican Party that was built on social conservatism, foreign interventions and wars, and free trade and free markets. And he basically took an axe to all of those. During the campaign, he said, look, I mean, he's pretty pro-gay. That's pretty obvious. He appointed the highest-ranking out gay person, Scott Bessent, our Secretary of Treasury, which is incredible. And he sidelined the pro-life wing of his party.
He has changed the party, for sure.
He didn't have to sideline them because Roe v. Wade got overturned. So he didn't have to deal with that topic. So she's kind of right, but she's not saying why what happened. He doesn't have to rally. That was a real turnoff, having old white men telling women what to do with their body, whether they were right or wrong. The messenger was wrong. They don't have to do that anymore. Roe v. Wade was overturned. Now it's up to the states. It's out of federal elections, hopefully for good.
Okay, so he believes abortion should be legal for 12 weeks.
But free trade, you
on
mentioned.
foreign intervention, he's anti-war. He's trying to bring
Yes.
to an end to all of these wars, okay?
By surrendering, but yes.
Okay.
I mean, that is one way to end.
So you see how he's looking at, well, he doesn't want to be at war. Oh, so he surrendered. So you want to keep fighting, Bill? That comeback made no sense, but the audience is just they just want to clap.
He's on the other side of another party that is quite pro-war and wants to keep the war going, right?
But
so
let's
let's
Both
get to the
parties.
third point. And the third point is, and he's not free trade. He does not believe in free trade. He looked at our destroyed manufacturing base. He looked at the downwardly
Global
mobile
free
working
trade.
class. He looked at the fact that working class Americans can no longer afford the American dream. And he looked at why that was, which was there was a handshake agreement between both parties that we should somehow have free trade, which resulted in shipping 5 million
Global
good
trade.
manufacturing jobs overseas to build up China and Mexico.
And some came here.
No, what they did was they brought in millions and millions of illegal
Yes.
migrants to compete with the jobs that remained here. And what Donald Trump said was, we have to stop selling out the working class. That agenda that he laid out, socially moderate, anti-war, and anti-free trade
And this-
protectionist, that
She keeps saying free trade, but she means global free trade. When I first heard her say it, I'm like, what is she talking about? But then when I heard her explaining it, I understood what she's saying.
is a leftist
Sam, I will
agenda.
bring you in.
The reason people want to go back to the 70s is in the 70s, the largest share of our GDP was in the middle class. And that was not separate from the fact that 25% of our economy was in
Right,
manufacturing.
the largest share of our GDP.
Was in the middle class, the
Meaning
biggest chunk, the middle class,
Most
people
of
who
what
were
was
middle
produced
income.
came from the middle, and now it
Yes.
comes from what? The rich.
Now, the top 20% controls over 50% of the GDP. Our economy was an upward funnel of wealth, and the largest share, which used to be in manufacturing, which gave a lot of working class people a middle class standard of living, now the largest share is in real estate and finance, meaning that asset-rich Americans are controlling over 50% of the GDP, and they have left the working class out of all of that prosperity that was generated. That manufacturing is still being done. It's just being done in other countries. It is still
For wages
making,
we will not work
That's exactly
for.
right. You're right,
Yeah,
Bill.
that's the problem.
What the tariffs are for. They are to make American workers more competitive in the global market. Why are we
Right.
accepting that there
No,
should be a
that's-
race to the bottom? You know, China, what is its competitive advantage over us? It's that it pays slave wages.
That's
Why
it.
should we accept that? They're still manufacturing our PPE, our pharmaceuticals, our cars. They're making all that stuff. Trump says there are 5 industries that we cannot have any kind of national security without having a stake in them. Pharmaceuticals, lumber, steel, aluminum, and I forget what the 5th one was. But these are really important that we have a stake in the manufacturing of the things that we need as a
Necessary.
nation, so that when China decides that it wants to go to war against us, we're not relying on them for steel and aluminum in order to fight them.
Okay, well, at least that's an answer.
Today we take a very historic action that was 45 years in the making. In a few moments, I will sign an executive order to begin eliminating the Federal Department of Education once and for all.
And that's the end of my presentation. But I want to show something because let's see. Something she said about PPE and pharmaceuticals. I want you guys to see this. Share screen. I just typed this in. Share. Let me put this full screen. I typed in what percentage of antibiotics are made in China? China is a major global producer of antibiotic ingredients, with estimates suggesting it accounts for a significant portion of the global supply, potentially as high as 71% of antibiotics, of exported antibiotic ingredients are from China. Do you guys understand what that means? 71% of antibiotics, let me put myself back up here, are coming from China. I don't think people understand what antibiotics are and how important they are in our lives. When you get any kind of wound, they're going to give you antibiotics. If we are at war with a country who has all the antibiotics and we have none, we're going to go back to the days where people die if they get shot because the infection is going to spread and they don't know how to stop it without antibiotics. Extremely important. Why is our global enemy in charge of the thing that we need most to stay healthy in this country? That's where we are. And that's all I got for today. Hopefully you guys learned something or at least saw something that you didn't know before. I will be going over what I was talking about earlier, the signature, the Joe Biden signature thing, and the pardons and how that all may be at risk, which would be an amazing thing, a great thing. I knew they'd find a way to mess it up. Let's see. Ilan Milligan, appreciate you. Lou Jenkins, thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you. G. Will, as always. Phoenix Rising, as always. Kiss my cheeks. Welcome, welcome. Hassan, thanks for coming back. Welcome, welcome back. Who else was in here? We had Miss Just J, as always. Thank you, as always. True, thank you, young lady. True Pac, thank you for stopping by. Who else was Nene Loyal? Thank you, thank you. She recently subbed up. We used to chat in chats all the time. Appreciate you for subbing up and finding me. Who else was in here? John Thompson, as always. Mel Dub, as always. Thank you guys for stopping by. Appreciate you both very, very much. Huge supporters. Always here. That's so cool. Uncle L, also another one. Always here. Appreciate you, sir. Thank you, thank you. Dan Tana, appreciate you. Thanks for coming. Good to see you again. Let's see. I think I said G. Will already. Just Jay, I definitely said. Is that everybody? Said Ilan Milligan. Roll Rich, thank you, sir. Thanks for stopping by again. Welcome back. Bolo stopped in. Thank you, sir. Bernard 98. I think this is the second time. I've seen him, I think, once, maybe once before. If not, welcome. Who else? I think that's everybody. Say kiss my cheeks. KTC, thank you, young lady, for coming back. Haven't seen you in a while. Appreciate you. I think I got everybody now. Yep, that's everybody. G. Will said, check my phone. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. So if you're new here, please like, subscribe, share. If you would like to donate to the Cash App and provide a fresh wind, you can do that also. You guys are going to be seeing some really cool changes very, very soon, like within a week or two, to my channel. So that's my Cash App. If you're on, or if you're here in YouTube, subscribe to my Rumble. This is my Rumble channel. If you are on Rumble right now, subscribe to my YouTube page. This is my YouTube. Exact same content. There's nothing different. Let's see. There's that. And if you want to follow me on X, do so. X is pretty uncensored, so you could say more on X than you can on any other of the platforms. G. Will, who is in the chat right now, has a company. It's a Black-owned business. If you need any of this stuff done, hit G. Will up. Let's see. So he does T-shirts. Actually, this shirt that I have on right now. Ugh. O speaks to O and a S. He made the shirt for me. He does T-shirts, embroidery, sublimation, tumblers. I think. Yep. He does stuff like this. Even put my face on it, my ugly mug on it. So he does stuff like that. So if you have a channel and you want stuff like that done, he's in Chicago. He's in Cali, and he can ship stuff. Get a hold of him. This is his email and his. Let me do them separately. This is his email. There's his email. Let's see. And this is his IG. And Lou said he did some work with him. He worked with him and he did some great work. That's his IG. Hit him up. If you have a channel and you want some stuff like that, some merch, or if you just want something, hey, what's going on, Passionate Dreamer? Hit up G Will. Definitely hit him up. He can get you some product, get it to you, high quality. Other than that, that's all I got. Uncle L, you missed my intro. Go back and listen to the intro. I think you'll like that one. It's a real good one. Old school. Old school. I don't know if you know anything about Main Source, but that's who I came in with. And that is all I got for today. So I appreciate you guys all again. Let me make sure I am not disrespecting anyone on CashApp. I have a horrible habit of that. Nope. Not disrespecting anybody. With that said, appreciate you guys. Thank you, and thank you.